good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm very excited to talk about the movie with you.
Let's freaking go.
How does sisterhood impact and influence your character, Melody?
I think so much of Melody's actions in this movie are based on the love of her sister, of Lila. I think, you don't see Melody in relation to any guy or any romantic way. The story, the core of her is for the love of her sister. And that's what the driving force is every decision that she makes.
Definitely. And how does Texas Chainsaw Massacre challenge stereotypes about women and femininity?
Well, like I said, I really love that in the script when I read it the first time, and there was no sexualization of Melody or of any of the female characters. There was no, when I was told that we're gonna shoot this, and the pitch there that I'd been given about this movie was like, this isn't the classic tall blonde in a mini skirt, like running around, like getting like frigging killed. Like there's no glorifying of that. Melody isn't sexualized in any way. Again, she's doing everything because she loves her sister and trying to save her and keep her safe in that. And then, so cool at a certain point when I get to do this action stuff and kind of like be a little badass. That felt like I was in control, and that was really exciting. I love that.
Now, what was the most exciting scene to film, whether that was an action scene or something else?
Yeah, there was a lot, a lot of it is me running and crying and running from Leatherface and hiding, and it's a lot to shoot. And so there were a couple days when I got to kind of do some action stuff, and that was so exciting. It just felt like such a cool reversal. And like I was like a mini superhero for the day. Got to work with a stunt coordinator and the stunt doubles, and everyone was just so amazing. I got to like do some stunts. It felt like that was so exciting to get to do that.
That's wonderful. And on the flip side of that, what was the most frightening or stressful or just grueling day of filming?
Yeah. There were like 3 days of there's a whole crawl space sequence where I fall underneath the house, and then I'm stuck in the crawl space crawling, and Leatherface has his chainsaw above me and like trying to get me, and I'm crawling and running on my knees and crying and covered in everything. And that was like 3 days. They had built this whole crawl space in the stage and covered it with just tons of dirt, and like doing that over and over, like being stuck down there for 3 days. At that point, well, I was covered in blood and soaking wet and poop at the end of the scene when the sewage pipe explodes on me.
Yikes.
So that was just physically and mentally draining in so many ways.
Yeah, that sounds very intense.
It
Now,
was insane.
I read that you're not a big fan of watching horror movies personally.
No.
So how did you get involved in this project?
So, I had my auditions, like I was sent the audition stuff, and I remember I've been playing younger for a long time. I just play younger roles. So I got sent this character, and I was like, she's like 25. Like she's like a real adult. Like, how am I going to do that? Like, I felt like, I was like, I'm never going to play an adult. Like, who is she? And then I was in the waiting room for my final audition for the directors and the producers. And I was sitting there thinking like, I'm not going to get this. Like, she's 25. And all the girls leaving the audition room were like, real adults, like real women. And I remember sitting there being like, why am I here? Like, I'm a child. And I went in the room and I like did the 3 scenes. And as I'm doing them, I can like kind of get a vibe of the room. And I'm like, I think this is going well. And by the 3rd scene, I can like see the directors like putting down their clipboards, and they're like all nodding and like looking around, smiling. And I'm thinking, and I'm like, did I just book this? And then it's like silent. No one's saying anything, but they're just like smiling and nodding. And I was like, okay, bye. And I just like left because I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I got the role.
That's awesome. That sounds
Yeah.
like an incredible experience.
Yeah, it was surreal because I was like, did this just happen?
Yeah. Now, how did you prep for this project, for those action scenes that you talk about, or going through the crawl space and
Yeah.
a really intense filmmaking.
Um, the thing is, after being in it, I was like, oh, there's no way I could have prepared for this. I was like doing some hit stuff, actually trying to like do crawling a lot of that, because I saw that that would be days. I don't know if any of that helped, because when you're actually in it and you're like covered in everything and crying, like I don't know what I could have done more to prepare myself. um but I did learn, in hindsight, which is always 2020, what I could have been doing probably in between days and in between shots to decompress, because it's so emotionally grueling at a certain point of just like getting there every day. And it's really hard to kind of let it go in between.
Definitely. Now, gentrification is an important part of this film. Now, how does melody fit into that, and how is it explored in Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, so Melody, she's this like cool young entrepreneur from Austin with hopes to revitalize this ghost town, because again, she does think no one's there. But clearly, awakens Leatherface, and maybe they all meet their fate. We'll see. But I think, yeah, there's this element of not honoring the past of a place, which I think plays into that. And it's interesting because when I was acting and when I was doing the movie as a character, I'm thinking like, I'm right in everything I'm doing. Like, I didn't mean to do anything. I'm just there to do the right thing. And that's kind of the headspace I had to be in to play the character. And then talking about it now and seeing it and discussing it, and people being like, yeah, I wanted that millennial to die or whatever. And I'm like, oh, did I do something wrong? Like, kind of now seeing the other side is a really interesting experience.
That's fascinating. Well, I think we're about out of time, but it's been a wonderful time speaking with you. I'm a really big fan of the franchise. I can't wait for everyone to see it when it comes out on February 18th. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.